Hi, this is Thomas from Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And today we are giving you the New Balance rundown
Of 2024.
Yeah.
So we're going to start this out with some of the daily trainers, then move on to the faster shoes and race day.
You're going to see we're starting with the 1080. We know there's an 880 and an 860. We didn't actually put miles in on those. We let the other people on the team try those out. So nobody in the office was actually wearing those, but Jarrett and Chad really liked the 880 and called it one of their favorite shoes this past year. So you can check out their reviews. We're gonna hop right in though to the 1080 V14.
Yeah, so this is New Balance's like very standard daily trainer. It's the workhorse of the line. It's got a decent amount of stack, but it's just for all those easy miles.
You're getting that really nice stack of fresh foam. It's not a huge change from last year, but it is a good tune-up.
Yeah, so primarily the biggest change is actually the geometries of this midsole right here. And while the foam is the same as last time, it feels a little bit livelier to me in this iteration. And then also the upper has been updated a little bit, so more breathable, just generally more comfortable.
Yeah, the changes bring this shoe closer to one of our favorite daily trainers from another brand, the Asics Nova Blast 4. Gives it that feeling, you've got the same level of cush. This one is dialed in. I felt like they've had some trouble with the upper from going 2 iterations back. They kind of fixed it last year, but it was still a little bit on the baggy side. This one contours my foot really well and it accommodates yours. Where the ride of this feels more similar to some of those daily trainers we like, the weight gets a little bit up there. I mean, that's the thing with daily trainer, then you strap on your fast day shoe and you feel light and quick.
Yeah, so final note on this shoe, it comes in at $165.
All right, so say you like this shoe, but you want something with more cush or maybe a recovery shoe. All right, Meg, so for cushioning, you can't really beat the More V5.
Yeah, so this is New Balance's Max Cushion Trainer. It's very similar to the 1080, but with a lot more stack underfoot.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I thought the two shoes were getting pretty close together last year. Now you can clearly see and feel a difference in the shoe. It has a really nice upper, which I like. You actually sit down into this cushioning, so it's not as high stacked as you might think. But this amount of fresh foam really feels great under the foot. Meg, you are the queen of cush. Like, is this one of your favorite cushion shoes?
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Max Cushion trainers. But what's really special about the shoe is how wide it is. So you just get a ton of foam underfoot. It's also really stable because of that wide platform, and it just feels really comfortable.
Yeah. You are gonna pay for this cush though. The weight is up there.
It's definitely on the heavier side, but when you are using this Max Cushion Trainer, I use it for those recovery days, those easy miles, and so the weight's kind of not important, it's just the comfort.
All right, Meg, so wrapping up our coverage of the Fresh Foam line, or Fresh Foam X, we have a new entry this year. It's a kind of a different shoe that, I don't know, does it belong in Fresh Foam?
Yeah, so this is called the Balos, and this is the first time that they've put a PIBA blend into the Fresh Foam line. And so this is sort of like what they described it as your super trainer without a plate. So it's meant to have that responsive ride. It's like a premium daily trainer, but it just doesn't have a carbon plate.
Yeah, it's almost like a beefed up Rebel, which we'll get to in a little bit. So tell me about this shoe.
So it's got a mesh upper. It's kind of see-through here. It's got a really nice knit tongue. The upper is really comfortable. And then beneath the foot is that new formulation we were talking about. So it's got some PIBA in there. It's definitely very bouncy. The number one thing I noticed though was that the outsole is this exposed EVA. And so you definitely feel the ground and more things than I think I'm used to.
Yeah, for me, this was a very soft ride. So if you want something really soft, still has a little bit of rebound, but this is like a gooey shoe.
Yeah, I have to agree. You definitely have to love the soft, squishy feel, but it does have some bounce to it because of that foam formulation. So, I mean, it wasn't my favorite shoe from the lineup, but I do know a lot of people love this underfoot feel, so I think it just comes down to personal preference.
And having the $200 price tag to pay for it.
Yeah, so because of the premium qualities of this shoe, the price point is $200. It's definitely a lighter shoe in this daily training category. And I mean, it's pretty fun. I've gone back to it a few times. I think it kind of grows on you.
So moving into the fuel cell line, we have the SC Trainer V3. So let's start with the fuel cell. This is a PIBA blend, right?
Yeah, so this is a new formulation. It's got some PIBA in there. It's very bouncy. You still have a full-length carbon fiber plate. They have reduced the weight a bit in the plate, so it's a little thinner and it's now a fork shape. But tons of bounce and a fun ride in this shoe.
Yeah, so who and what are you gonna recommend this shoe for?
I think this is that perfect like marathon training shoe. That long run shoe, the shoe that it has those race day properties, but it's not quite that race ready feel. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit more supportive. It has a daily trainer upper, but it has like the plate and some of those vibes of race day so that you can recover a little bit faster after a long run.
I consider it like the upgraded, like advanced daily trainer. So you're getting a little more fun out of the shoe. You're getting some of the tech that you do love in the race day shoe, and you can use it for just about every run. This one, I think paired with the race day shoe, if you're gonna go with the SC Elite, it really pairs nicely. You're gonna have a similar ride, but you're gonna lighten up in the SC Elite, get a little more bounce, and it's gonna be a little fun. We'll cover that one in a second. I love this for just daily cruising. It feels good, supports. It's also one of those shoes, when you do finish, it almost eliminates the need for a recovery shoe. Your legs don't feel beat up in a shoe like this.
Yeah, in fact, I've been enjoying mine, and the fact that my pair isn't here is because I ran it this morning and it's wet somewhere.
All right, Meg, we're actually moving to my favorite shoe in the New Balance lineup this year.
The Rebel V4.
Yeah, this shoe is light, fun, has the right amount of cushioning, price tag is right. Like, I just like everything about this shoe.
Yeah, so you've got New Balance's Phantom Fit upper here. It's a very minimal upper, very light. The tongue is, there's not much to it. And then beneath the foot, you have this fuel cell foam, which is the same composition that we saw in the SC Trainer.
I mean, you're gonna say there's nothing to the tongue, but it's nice, it's gusseted, it keeps you in there. I did have to lace this one up pretty tight because New Balance does favor a little bit wider foot than I have. So that's the only thing that I will give it a little bit of a knock for. Other than that, this one's just fun. This is one of those shoes you put on, you head out the door. If you feel like running slow that day, just run nice and easy. If you're out there and you're like, you know what? Feel like picking it up, this is the shoe to do it in. It kind of covers all the paces.
Yeah, I think what's most noticeable for me is this weight.
The only thing that can make it a little more fun is maybe adding a plate in it, which takes us to
The Pacer.
2. All right, Meg, so now we're getting into that top tier racing day shoe. You know, these are the fast boys.
Yeah, so here is the Pacer V2. I think we were all pretty excited about this update. They designed this shoe specifically with Emily Sisson in mind. So the stack heights are very specific. It's a fast shoe. We said when we were talking about the Rebel, this is kind of like the Rebel with a plate, but this fuel cell formula is 100% PIBA.
All right, so that's a hallmark of the race day shoe. Getting that PIBA midsole. They really did a nice job updating the shoe from the last version. Last version, I don't think would make any of our top lists. This definitely is up there for that middle distance, 13.1 and down race day shoe. Some people, if they're light and efficient, I would even say this would be a marathon shoe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is Emily's pick, and we've seen her break American records, so it must work. I typically gravitate towards more stack, but this shoe, when it arrived, I had a 5K the next day, so I laced it up, and it's definitely one of my favorite shoes for those fast, shorter distances. It feels light, it feels snappy, and it's just fun to run in. Price point comes in at $200, so if you're comparing this to other race day shoes, it's decent. And yeah, very fun to run in.
It's like the lighter they get, the more expensive they get.
Sometimes.
Yeah. All right, so if you want to go the full distance, Meg, what would be your preference for New Balance shoes?
I'm going SC Elite V4. We got to test this out at the New York City Marathon last year. We got a little bit early.
In the all white colorway.
And I loved it. I had a great time out there, and then it was released this spring. And now we have this brand new New York City colorway that we're showing off today.
Yeah, and people seem to really like this colorway.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but there's little people in the logo.
Some people thought they were sprinkles, but they're little people.
Very confusing.
Yeah. All right, so you're gonna see some familiar things through the line. This one has that Phantom Fit upper. The tongue's pretty similar to what was in, like say the Rebel, but it doesn't have a gusset to keep some of the weight down.
Yep.
You've got a nice fitting heel collar. Overall, for that long haul run, this upper feels pretty good and pretty breathable.
Yeah, it's nice because it feels like it has a race day feel, but it's also pretty supportive and structured around the collar and heel here. So it feels great. Like I'm comfortable doing long runs in this shoe or running a race in this shoe.
This also has the Fuel Cell PIBA, which is 100% PIBA, and the biggest stack of it, which is pretty bouncy.
Yeah, so they went up to that max stack at 40 millimeters in the heel, but you get a carbon fiber plate in here and plenty of rubber coverage on the outsole.
While this isn't the lightest race day shoe that we have out there, this is probably one of the more comfortable ones. So if you're gonna be out there for a while and you want a shoe that has that bounce and that PIBA feel with the plate, this one is going to be comfort for the long haul.
I think if you are running a marathon for fun, or if you're racing and it's going to take, a little bit longer, this is going to feel great in those later miles, no matter your pace.
Real quick, just want to talk about probably what's the hottest thing about New Balance is our lifestyle collection. And I'll give you 2 recommendations for shoes that I love for just
casual.
I'm gonna start off with a modern day classic, the 990 V6. There's all different versions of the 990. They're all made in the US. It's just a staple, especially if you're from the DMV area. I'm gonna say Baltimore, some people say DC. These shoes became really popular in that area, all the 990s. And this V6 is a great update. It's one of those shoes that you can wear all day walking around, and it's pretty comfortable.
So it's the ultimate dad shoe.
It is the ultimate dad shoe. It's like when there's no dads to beat, this is the boss. And then the shoe I didn't even know I needed until I saw it on the foot of someone, and I said, hey, love that. And guess what? Here it is. The purple 993 Suede. This is perfect. Living in Baltimore.
Ravens.
Yeah. So again, it's made in the USA. Very comfortable. If you want to make them even more comfortable, you can throw an insole in these shoes and they're just all day comfort. But I just love the way these shoes look and feel. So you know what? I could be wearing New Balance in the morning for my run and then New Balance for the rest of the day. Feeling pretty good. All right, so that wraps up our New Balance lineup.
If you haven't yet, definitely like this video, subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Strava. We have 2 podcasts, The Drop and Fuel for the Soul with Meaghan Featherston. And then, of course, we have our website, believeintherun.com, where you can find all of these shoes we just talked about, in-depth reviews there. So check it out.
Yeah, so if you did see a shoe in this review today that you want more information on, we've got videos, we've got written reviews. Best way to stay in touch with all of us is signing up for that email when you get to believeintherun.com.
Bye.
The only thing that can make this better is maybe throw a little plate in it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is fun. It is light, but I think my preference leans towards the trainer with a plate and a little bit more stack underfoot.
I wasn't talking about the trainer. I'm talking about the Pacer 2.
I know.
Oh, then why'd you go talk about the trainer?
Because that's not my preference.
Your preference. My preference is the only one that matters.
Jesus.